कल्पभृत्येष्वपिकुजनकृतौ भूत्या जगाय कर्त्रे धर्त्रे तहर्त्रे हयमुखहरये मुत्रपात्रे नमस्ते तस्मै कस्मैचिदस्मन् मनसि धृतकथा विस्मृतौ स्मारकाय हयग्रीवेति यो वदे तस्य निस्सरते वाणी जह्नुकन्या प्रवाहवत् अभ्रमं भङ्गरहितम् अजडं विमलं सदा आनन्दतीर्थमुकुलं भजेतापत्रयापहं चित्रैः पदैश्च गम्भीरैः वाक्यैर्मानैरखण्डितैः गुरुभावं व्यञ्जयन्ति भाति श्रीजयतीर्थवाग् सत्याविघ्नकराभ्योत्थान् पञ्चाशत्वर्षपूजकान् सत्यप्रमोदते भार्यान् नौमिन्याय सुधारतान् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम्. Having prostrated the holy feet of Lord and all the Guru Parampara, I prostrate to the venerable feet of my Guru Sri Acharya. So today my presentation is about modern concepts in Indian logic. So today's talk would be how Indian logic is applied in other fields of study or other fields of study such as taxonomy or psychology, etc. So this is going to be my presentation, and in my presentation I would like the audience to interject their thoughts in a good way. So this is going to be my structure of the presentation. So in this presentation, the audience or the listeners could know the following learning: Indian logic as a knowledge system, spectrum of Nyaya in various fields of studies, Nyaya and taxonomy, Nyaya and psychology, and I conclude by telling few points. So Indian logic as a knowledge system. Nyaya is one of its kind in the 14 knowledge system or the Vidyasthanas. As we can see in the Vishnu Purana, Angani Vedas Chaturo Mimamsa Nyaya Vistaraha. So the term Nyaya is used for indicating Nyaya is one of the part of 14 knowledge system. Even in Upanishads also we can see Daivam Nidhim Vako Vakyamekayanam. In Subala Upanishad is stated that Vako Vakyam means Nyaya. So Nyaya is one of its kind in the 14 knowledge system. Even in Chandogya Upanishad, it is stated that Tam Jyotisha Mayanam Nyayo Mimamsa Dharma Shastrani. It is stated like that. So we can know that Nyaya is one of its kind in the 14 knowledge system or Vidyasthanas. Nyaya is one in the 6 darshanas, or we can say systems of knowledge. And then many scholars have propagated Nyaya thoughts in a robust and rigid manner. From the Nyaya Sutras and to Gangesh Upadhyaya's Tattvachintamani, Gadadhari, and etc. texts, we can see the language, how equivocative the language of Nyaya is, and how robust they have built the Nyaya language. And we can see how modern scholars, erudite scholars, have used those language in a pictorial or a visual way, so that it is easy to understand or cognize what is the main theory of Nyaya. So when we take the Shabdabodha Krama, which was very terse to understand now professors like Srinivasa Varkedi or Professor Haridasa Bhattacharya, they have made use of those visual representation of these terse concepts. So this is how Nyaya has evolved in coming generation. Even we can see the praise of Nyaya in poems. In Vishwaguna Darsha Champu, Venkatadvari states that Moham Runadhi Vimali Kurute cha Buddhim Sute cha Samskrita Padav Vyavahara Shaktim Shastrantara Bhyasana Yogyataya Yunakti Tarkashtamona Tanute Kimihopakaram. So we can know that how much usefulness of Nyaya is there in other branches of studies also. So today I am going to talk about how Nyaya, the spectrum of Nyaya in various fields of studies. So when we take example Nyaya in physics, in physics also we can see Nyaya concepts. For example, Vegaha means velocity, and in neuroanatomy, it's a part of psychology. It is called cognitive psychology. In there we can see how Nyaya concepts in the Nyaya Sutras, there are emotions described by the author. So those emotions were studied by the psychologists, and and they also researched how many emotions are there in a human brain. So these are the studies recently done by psychologists. In biology also, we can see in our own eyes, there are pupils. In those pupils, there are photoperceptors which capture light. So in Nyaya Shastra also, we can know such a Krishna Taragravarti. So where there is also stated that light is emitted by our own eyes and light is captured by our eyes. So these are the biological aspects of Nyaya Shastra. In chemistry also, we know how many acid base are there. Those are classified and given in 6 types in Nyaya Shastra. In Tarka Sangraha, premier of Nyaya Shastra, it is stated as Sacha Madhuramla Lavana Katukashaya Tikta Vedat Shadvidaha. So there are 6 types of rasas. Apart from these 6 types, there are many rasas, but they can be categorized in those 6 types. It is stated in the premier of Nyaya Shastra, known as Tarka Sangraha. So these are the spectrums of Nyaya Shastras in various fields of study. Today, I'm going to discuss about 2 aspects of Nyaya Shastras in field of taxonomy and psychology. So taxonomy is a scheme of classification, especially a hierarchical classification in which things are organized into groups or types. Among other things, a taxonomy can be used to organize and index knowledge. So taxonomy is basically classifying objects, many objects, into a finite numbers. So this is the main idea of taxonomy. So as we can see, taxonomic hierarchy is species is the first level, genus, family, class, and kingdom. Kingdom is the highest level of taxonomy, of classification. So what does a taxonomy do is it organizes the objects or index knowledge. We would have a index knowledge, means there won't be a conceptual burden or gaurava, which is known in the orthodox system. There will be a conceptual economy of classifying many things in given numeric classification. As described in the first aphorism of Nyaya, classification of infinite objects to a finite number is the motive of Nyaya Shastra. In Tarka Sangraha, a premier to Nyaya doctrine uses the idea of taxonomy to classify objects under certain category. For example, Tatra Sapta Padarthaha, Dravyam Guna Karma, Vishesha Samavaya Bhavaha. So we can see how Nyaya is used to classify the Padarthas in 7 ways. So this is the main idea of Nyaya Shastra. When we take Go is an individual, Vishesha, Gotva, Kaunas is Jati, that is the class, and kingdom, whether Go is living thing or non-living thing. So this is the highest level of classification. So we can see this in Nyaya Shastra also. Trekaha eva, Visheshaha Anantaha. So these are the classification done in the Nyaya theory. In taxonomy also, we can see the similar thing. So other aspect of Nyaya is classification of physical elements into various categories is the hallmark of this doctrine. means whether convention, Shakti, is a Padartha or not, or whether darkness, Tamaha, is a matter or not. These are the classification and Pariksha examination done by Nyaya on an object, whether it is a matter or it is a dravya or it is action or something. So this is the main structure of Nyaya. After showing this, I would like to move to the next topic, Nyaya and Psychology. So psychology has various branches such as cognitive psychology, psychology which studies emotion, social psychology, and etc. So today I'm going to take a topic which is memory. In psychology also, memory is described in various ways. So how does Nyaya and psychology describe memory? I'm just going to show the similarities between them. In the Nyaya Sutra Bhashya of Nyaya, Yugapat Jnana Anutpattihi Manasolingam. In that sutra, the Bhashya of that sutra, the concept of Smriti is discussed. Smriti means memory. Likewise, in Tarka Sangraha and many granthas also, the term Smriti is termed as Samskara Matra Janyam Jnanam Smritihi. The experience which rises samskara is the originator of the memory. So when we see in psychology also, there are 3 stages of memory: encoding, storage, and retrieval. So the maintenance rehearsal or the retrieval of information is known as samskara. So after retrieving the information, our brain, the hippocampus of our brain, after connecting what we have learned before, the ways the neuron have connected before, now the brain is connecting the same pattern how the neurons have been connected before. So we get a memory. For example, before we saw a cow, today we are seeing a cow. At what time we are seeing the cow before, the first time we saw a cow, some patterns, some complex patterns of neurons were structured in our brain. Now the brain has retrieving the information and trying to follow the similar structures which were done by the neurons before. So this is called memory in psychology. This is the similarity between Nyaya and psychology, how memory is working. And today also we can see many research papers on how a person cognizes with the help of cognizes, that is described in Nyaya Shastra. They are using Nyaya Shastra's theory and relating that with psychology also. And latest research by V and Jha, we can find out that Nyaya is used in the cognitive behavioral treatment. Nyaya is used as an instrument, but there is no means of how to treat, but Nyaya has stated how many emotions are there in a human brain, how many emotions are going, for example, anxiety, depression, etc. and etc. This is stated in the Nyaya Sutras in the 4th Annika and the 1st Annika too. So they have used Nyaya Shastra in psychology also. The modern psychologists, we can say that. So this is how Nyaya is used. Nyaya doctrine or Nyaya theory is used in other fields of studies. So I like to conclude my presentation by saying some points. Studying Nyaya doctrine helps us to gain insights in various studies, as you have seen in the before slides, how Nyaya is used in chemistry, physics, biology, neuroanatomy, etc. So this helps us to gain insights. What is the synapses of other fields of studies? Improves overall. It improves our overall functioning of the brain. The hippocampus would gather many neurons, And then analytical analysis is must for studying Nyaya. Means you need to analyze a concept rather than saying it in a orthodox way. We need to analyze every concept, and many ideas would be bombarded in our mind. So this is how we can help to promote Nyaya Shastra. So I come to my last part of the presentation by thanking the event manager and especially Acharya, who has given me motivation and given me a golden opportunity to stand here and present few thoughts of mine. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Anamshasyapi Jivasya Kinchit Samarthya Yojanam Karyeshu Karotyadha Namastasmai Swayam. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.